Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have Rumble. Rumble in the jungle. That's right, of all the changes that came through to the quote-unquote off-meta junglers in this last patch, this wasn't the one that most people were expecting to sort of take off a little bit. Now, Morgana and Diana are supremely strong. Objectively, overall, some of the best junglers in the game. Alright, as we go on a cheeky level 1 here with our pro player Bonnie from KT. Rumble, however, they decided to give on his passive some percentage max HP damage. They decided to give him some 50% attack speed boosts when overheated. They decided to give him magic shred on his E. You see why this would be alluring to junglers, especially when you shred his, well, not shred, but you lower his MR and his MR growth. So something that might be weaker in lane all of a sudden can be negated by being in the jungle. And now we have a whole bunch of other stuff in our kit to use to snowball games. And when I say snowball games, with the runes on your screen now, Dark Harvest, I really mean snowball. 1v5, 1v9. That was fancy. So you will see from the rune set that Bonnie is running, it's not what I would normally recommend. Something like Cheap Shot. Eyeball is obviously fine, but Relentless, while good for maneuverability in career, specifically when you're looking to get around the map a lot. What's going on over here? We take that. Ultimate Hunter does have the statistical best win rate, and things like Ravenous also have a role. But because he's gone for Relentless, a Taste of Blood gives him that healing, but the Cheap Shot does also perform better. You can go Water Walking and Celerity as well. Just keep in mind, the Dark Harvester's core, we love the Night Harvester and things like that. Now, I haven't seen this game whatsoever. I just was looking for games that might seem interesting for us to actually go through. He's starting with Blue into Gromp, as we expect at this point. Will he full clear? Will he 4 camp? Will he 5 camp? Let's see. He's against the Diana, and the reason why this is nice, good ward, thank you very much. The reason why this is nice is because Diana really has shown herself to be atop the jungle tier list. I put it on the thumbnail for a reason. People were calling me trolling or clickbait. Nah. She was looking very good even from the outset of the patch. Now Rumble, the thing is, right, just to pause for a second, this charges up, but with 2 charges you can spam those pretty quickly. And the slow and the magic resist stack additively. So if you have 2 charges, when you're running into the jungle to fight someone, not only do we have that slow now where the Cheap Shot comes in, but because you remove magic resistance, you can afford to build a bit more raw AP, which is always great when you have Magic Pen in your kit. Now this is standard procedure because Diana goes boom, boom, boom. Now if she tracked you here, right? Okay, we see her now. We don't know she's here, obviously. We might think she could try something like this. With Yasuo versus Lucian, or Yone, Lucian should be able to rotate and have a bit of prior there, so this is just a bit of a safety net, safety power thing. This is fine. We see Diana showing up here. We get a flash from the mid laner. Lucian flashes back, and now Diana cuts across knowing she has prior. He's gonna be fine though. This is absolutely fine for the current meta. Full clear 302. Okay, and remember when you overheat now, you get that 50% attack speed. So that's kind of huge for your clearing. And the fact that your W, you know, once you get this up to, what, 50%? There you go. You start to get that bonus feature on your abilities as well. So your clear speed with the attack speed and the bonus damage from that kind of stuff is absolutely insane. Qmax into Emax, and now we're going to have Diana on this crab, most likely floating into a jungle. So what he does is decides that once we see... Ooh, this is sneaky. This is very sneaky. Now she goes back for this gank, which, you know, makes sense in a foundational principle sense, but you're gonna lose a lot of it as well. A lot for it, rather. Right, so that's a nice skill. She is very strong at the moment. I don't know if she had any vision here of the Rumble or of the Fiora, but given that she disappears for this long, if you're the Diana and you take this crab kiting down and you see Fiora rotate down, you know Rumble did this, you can assume that this is gonna be stolen, right? So the repeat gank is great, and you know you at least get a double crab, so that's huge. These are all tier 1 camps. And he decided to clear everything, which I think in your elos, I think you should leave a baby wolf. Because what it will do is at least stifle her experience growth. Because now, you know, you see the pings already. Look at this. This is great pinging. We know that Diana did double crab. If Rumble showed at all, top side or mid, then the Diana can simply take the tier 2 Grump and the tier 2 Wolves in exchange for tier 1 and tier 1, so that's a worthy trade, 100%. You do that very easily. So the Rumble resetting here makes a lot of sense. Alistair tries to get some vision. Rel says, let me clear that for you, dear. And we say, thank you very much. We appreciate. Now the thing is though, what I don't like about this meta is you're watching it. The full clearing meta. I hate it. Those Morgana nerfs are coming in just to knock that W passive on the clearing. You see the pings coming through. It's kind of obvious exactly where Rumble is. Diana's point of view is if I go top side now, right, everything is gone. So it'd actually be interesting to see where she goes. Perfect. Perfect. Well, very well played. She decided, right, Ionian Rush 50 gold, right, to go and simply take this stuff away from him. Now, until the Diana shows again, right, we have no idea exactly where she is. We know she stole this and deep warded, and we know she took our Raptors, the second spawn. This is smart, as I said, purely because you know all of this was done, so we might as well just purchase and steal. You could, if Rumble decided to show bottom lane here, simply loop up here, look for top lane gank, and then you might be in time for the respawn of the Grump and the Wolves, and then you can just sequence down, and that gives you a meeting point with the Rumble. You should meet at that stage. And then, of course, mid-prior comes into factor, bottom lane, who can do the dragon, what are the limitations of the champions, and so on. So he's cautious here, inherently, but as soon as we see Diana, right, okay, let me path down just in case there's a gank going forward, but not. She keeps moving, she's going straight to her Raptors, means it's safe for me to take my Krugs. So you ping the map now, all right, Diana's on Raptors, Diana could be heading bottom lane, be very cautious, because mid has prior currently, right? So Diana knows she can do this, she can do this, she can do this into this, and Rumble is on the opposite side of the map. And that's why it's very important for jungle power, I think, to understand where's the enemy jungler going and what can I do about it. Now, Rumble, typically, you know, I don't like fighting Rumble. I always feel like this damage is kind of obscene, and you don't necessarily need to avoid certain matchups. I think Diana's good to avoid in principle, but look at that. The ult for the ganking is kind of nice just because of the slow, and it's dot damage, you know. And then you've got your own slow on top of that, plus your passive overload. This gives Diana pressure here. She could look to do the dragon, and you see the ping coming through on that. If you're in a lower elo game, I do advise this. If your champion at this stage has lost top tier camps, counter jungle the Raptors a little bit, floated across mid lane to take your Raptors and Krugs, I would like to see this kind of action, especially considering, right, and what we missed, she did do her Raptors and she did go bottom lane. So just to give you some vision, this is really nice, all right? Because you know you were seen going to Raptors, you know that it's possible that, they've warded it. So the lane gank in this situation is great. Now here you see, we see Rumble topside. I would love to see a flex into a dragon. No question. Rel is not going to be able to do anything at all. You have Alistar, you have a Kai'Sa. I think in a lot of your low elo games, even to say below master tier, not that it's low elo, but you know what I mean. This is such a mental advantage when an enemy jungler does this, because if your top laner dies, and you know this guy is going straight to your camps, assuming you're on the dragon, which you can see the pings, knowing that, look, I died top, but you got kills bot on a dragon, you know, as a top laner, they're usually okay with that. They feel better. But if you just gank bottom lane, got no objective, and then Rumble counter jungles you, ganks top again with a dive, and then resets to go bottom side to get the dragon, the top lane is suddenly going, well, what are you doing? And, you know, that's the mental aspect of solo queue. Now, we've got Alistar mid lane here. Of course, the downside is you can't remove the shield from the crab. And I don't know, I would not go for this. I think because Alistar came mid and it's pretty obvious where you are, it's best simply to give this up. I would just... It's better, you know, we have the benefit of seeing everything in third person. In the moment, I probably would try and greed for it, but most of my champions have CC, so I think I could get it and get out by kiting up. However, a little bit of a greed play. He's waiting now for the Raptors, because if he doesn't wait for the Raptors, right, Diana's just going to come and steal them, possibly, and we don't want that. Samir is now roaming mid lane as well, with Rel to hold that wave. It's very nice of them. Okay. These are really good, remember, because camps have magic resist, and magic penetration applies to the camps as well, so that's 18 free extra damage that you can do to them. Chain these together, let's have a look. Yeah, So, Rumble jungle, everybody. Diana's coming for the dive here. Now she's down a level, she's down 30 CS. Rinse clear twice, counter jungle a couple times, defend your Raptor camp from perma invasion, give up the crab if you have to so you don't lose your flash, gank top lane, Diana misses the opportunity to do the dragon, is now forced back down bottom lane because you stole her Grump again, and now you're juiced and primed by sequencing down to counter gank this. I don't know why she's doing this at all. She should know you're in the area. And Rumble throws out his ult here for the burn damage, and that's tragedy. But he has Harpoon that gets flashed. Nice. Diana showed on a ward here. Lucian, back off, please. Back off, son. There we go. Careful now. Careful now. Rumble, Alistair's saying, okay, I'm out. Don't shit on that. Okay, so this is really good by the Diana for 2 reasons. Actually, 1 reason. Normally, if you back off, right, and you go to your camps and you just sequence up, the red team will know that, and they'll do the dragon. So the bot gank, counter gank, turns into an objective. By ganking mid lane and creating prio there, knowing that Alistair's still alive, they can't exactly go straight to the dragon without potential confrontation. You don't want to start it if you're going to tank it, but look at the damage from Rumble. Overheating it up. And of course the scrap shield, sorry. Nice to have shields and movement speed for ganks when you don't have CC. So you can gap close a little bit, you can hit her slow, and then you've got a lot of damage. He's just flaming everybody to death. This is strong. The win rates do not indicate it. But the Flame Spitter, being a kind of a lowish cooldown, this stacking slow win magic shred, yeah, we have something here. Now, as I said, I haven't seen this, so let's see. Now, we have decisions. We talk about this a lot, right? We sequence down. So our red buff is up, Herald is up, top lane is gankable, there's an RNG crab, there is a dragon, and our camps are going to be spawning. Now, because these spawn last, these are the highest tier experience. So you could very much easily justify, listen, let's repeat gank that bottom lane. Alright, bot lane is in flux, but I think solid, you know, kind of, just have a look at the gold, kind of equal. You know, in-game you'd think it was kind of equal. I don't think this is something, oh, bot's losing, I can't gank it. No, you think, okay, this is roughly equal, I can be the difference maker, as he just was. You can use that then to take this, highest tier camp, and then float top side for this. I think a lot of your lower elo games, I would advise this play. In Challenger, when people can predict you and track you and counter jungle you quite easily, especially in the case of Diana, who's holding mid lane, right? She's really behind though. He's going to go for the top lane play. Now, the reason for that could be Herald for the 14-minute plate stonk, and then you can sequence down again. I do think he was anticipating that the Diana, yeah, this is a behavioral thing. Goodness gracious. This is a behavioral thing. Your junglers are not going to be so predictable in lower elo, so the safer play there is, let's look to gank bottom lane, let's get the dragon, let's get some plates, let's sequence up, let's get the herald, and so on. In Challenger, when you see a jungler holding mid and then solo killing your mid laner, she's going to assume you would do this and go topside, so you counter that move by going topside and killing her, you know? So it's like, you're always guessing and second guessing and tracking each other, so it's a whole different ballgame, obviously. I still think that some kind of objective focus move here would be good. I don't like perma fighting and killing. I feel it's a bit messy. I do like fighting into objectives. The Rel's just left lane, hasn't she? She has to go back at some point. Okay, she's gonna reset. Oh no, she's not. I thought she was gonna reset and resync with the Samira. But we get the Herald, as I said. So you can sort of make that decision for yourselves. But it was interesting that he kind of double predicted the Diana's pathing. Pro player. Not that pro player pathing is really that interesting anymore. We do things like blue buff into wolves and then we die. I mean, we win anyway. But why? So Raptor's taken, just because they're on our way to an objective. Of course, don't be too OCD obsessed about a quadrant clearing. Get camps on your way to an objective if you have time, if you can do them quickly. Now he sequenced up. He set up another up sequence. So this is actually fine because you can look to gank top lane here. Yeah, there we go. We have ult up. Let's get it going. We get the slow and we get the burn damage. We have mega attack speed. And let's shove this in for her. And we have Herald. You still have 2 minutes left, but I think here it's good practice to use. Because what you can do now is you're currently pushing with the Kai'Sa to get the first tower, right? So this gives you the 100%. You can then cut this wave as well. You're giving the objective away, which is the whole point of my original power thing was to not give objectives away. But again, in high-elo, things are a little bit different. Swapping plays is quite normal. Here, we can do this, and it elevates the game state before they are able to reciprocate. Yes, Diana's here, but look at the CS differential. It's almost 50. And the Fiora is going to respawn, not with TP, but with the ability to move somewhere else to make her numbers an advantage play. Because Rumble has shoved this in, there's no real need for her just to go straight to top lane. She can go bot lane, she can go mid lane, and that's what it means to elevate the game state. To force your laner, or laners, to start moving around the map before the enemy team is ready. And that's why, in low elo, I don't always advise you guys go for that. Purely because they don't swap. Fiora just goes back, pushes this more, and dies, you know, to 3 people. And while she's doing that, bot lane are resetting, so they could do that and just gain everything, and you guys gain nothing. Don't overstay for the grump. I know people want to, but if their bottom lane resets and Diana resets, you're kind of screwed. Fiora now, you see, look, she goes and looks for plays. Whether or not she gets them is not the issue. Scan. If you know they've been in your jungle touching your stuff, make sure you scan. Okay, this is ours. We give you grump, you don't get our scuttle crab too. Come on now. I would look to a blue grump bot lane gank here if bot wasn't resetting. Is it warded? No, they just know where you are because of looping. Yeah, so this was a bit inefficient. Out of base, into this, and now you're going up again. It's fine because you wanted the crab, but if the crab's up already, I'd rather you just go straight to it and then just sequence up if you're not going to gank bot. If you're going to gank bot, taking this, crab, blue, grump, lane gank if possible, or simply wall hop gank, that's fine because you'll shove, reset, look for play here or here, and then you can sequence down again, and all the counts will be up, there will be a dragon, and you can make a much more cohesive play. So I'm not supremely a fan of this pathing, but sometimes we gotta read and react, and you gotta make anticipation plays. If they don't pan out, you gotta alter your pathing. Adaptation. My theoretical best pathing there is not always the most practical, so we have to adapt. Always have to admit that and acknowledge that. So here they're hovering for a play. So this is one of those things what I'm talking about. You kind of wanted to do one thing with the pathing, but if there's something we need to rotate to fight, to win, because we are the most favored member, then we need to, because we have Night Harvester currently. There's no objective really to fight over, so I don't... Lucian hasn't noticed anything. But the Rumble... Can I just screenshot that face and just slap it on the thumbnail? So the Lucian goes here and kills the Camille, right? Tries to. But in turn he misses this. Like, he uses everything here. Whereas instead, if he just pushed her off with a bit of pokey, he can turn around and just mega this fight. Now Diana goes in and hits huge ult, right? But Diana's, the Rumble's ult and his burn damage, and of course he hit peak there before he diffuses. Hold up. I think we're online. And again, that's the point, right? With these junglers, can we clear fast enough to match meta? Yes. Can we skirmish meta if we have to? Yes. Can we still secure crabs, counter jungle, and do objectives if we need to? Yes. And then, if we do that properly, not only do we have experience and farm leads, now we can win those fights in the mid-game transition phase, early to mid-game, like 15 minutes or so, and basically put the game on our backs, which he has done. I mean, he's 11 out of 13 kills, sorry. No one else is really popping off. Their movements are fine, but Diana's done solid. We stopped analyzing her really because her movements were not really our focus. It's a Rumble, and we've already done a Diana video. So if we want a Diana video, we've done that already. That's doing quite well, actually. So here we clean our camps up, quadrant clear. Back to base. Where are we going for needlessly? No, okay. So I've seen a lot of Rumbles go straight death cap because of the E shred. It's not supreme, right? You know, it's not like gonna replace penetration or anything like that. The healing here, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The problem is you need to think very deeply about how much it's gonna affect your damage output if it's worth the gold. I'm not sure it's 100% worth in this case. I guess for the Yasuo, obviously, this is nice, and the Camille doesn't have Conqueror, but yeah. Keep just assess if you need Oblivion Orb. Always buy it if you have, you know, obvious healing issues. Rast buffs next patch, you're gonna buy it. Especially when you have Soraka's on the team for some reason. It's always like, sometimes healing's just strong innately, so you buy it anyway, you know, you can, like in this situation. And and then you have things like Soraka, Ross, Yumi all on the same team, and then it's pretty obvious that you need it. And even then, not really going to do much. Right, we've got a dragon fight here. The Yasuo goes all the way in. Diana goes in as well. We have Rel hitting CC, and the Rumble is in fact Zhonya's burning everyone to death. So he will die here. So let's look at that setup again. See, this is fighting that I like, because as a dragon, we need to do something. Fiora's just getting shoved out. Camille will rotate first. And the problem is here, like the Diana ult there is really nice, okay? So they just get off a huge engage. And Rumble's just sitting there, spewing flames out, shielding, chucking E's. The Zhonya's allows time for that to reset as well, recharge, so you get another one. But it's 1,000 gold shutdown to Kai'Sa. Fiora wasn't even in that fight, so you're gonna lose a dragon here. Unfortunate. Fiora, gaming? Gaming? Not gaming. Yeah, unlucky. Great engagement with Diana. Again, that's well played to her. The Rumble, though, you see the damage in those tight quarters? He just throws down the ult, the dot damage, the slow, the burn, and then he can just spew the flame spitter. Here we go. You see? And he very easily get overheated. Okay, next objective is, of course, the Herald. We throw out this as well to slow everyone fighting. Nice. The burn. And we finish Morella. So that better HP is also nice against this engage comp. We can have a look at the Oblivion Orb to see if the healing is worth. I know Shilbo has the lifesteal and stuff like this, and Diana's Conqueror, but will be interesting to see. So don't overchase here. Fall back to your Herald. I think actually can't. Yeah, you could if everyone just falls back, you can do it in time. People don't value this. I don't know why. You've got enough vision here. I love the second Herald, especially at 18-19, because if you have a huge lead, you can go ahead and push lanes right afterwards. Potentially set up macro to bait a Baron, and then you've got Baron and a Herald push. You can just end. So it's kind of big in that sense when you know you can carry a game. Right, mid lane fight again. We collapse. We burn. Fiora flanks. Gets trapped going in. Rumble just says no. And wait for that E. There we go. And then good night. This is insane. Actually, though, the win rate isn't good because I think people are misusing. The ult is kind of clunky to use if you use Smartcast. At least personally. So make sure you are hitting your spells. Understand the added. See, now they wanted to go to the Baron. They're pinging it. Why do they think they're on it? Why does blue team think they're on it? There's no ways they're on it currently. And just for reference, we were talking about slows by 35% and deals 1565 damage over 5 seconds. Casually. That's why people love to go Leandries, historically, back in the day. Because burn plus burn, Brand, Zyra, synergy and so on. But here, the damage is just obscene. The HP is super nice. You get ability haste, which is great for his overall kit. The ult cooldown isn't even that. I mean, it's 55 seconds, and that's why the Ultimate Hunt is so good, because it's such a game-changing ult. The more often you have it up, the more you can stack your abilities in those choke points. You can funnel people to their doom with the rest of your team, and you can just take over. So, I mean, this is really interesting. I'm surprised he's not doing better, to be honest with you. Given that his farm was actually sick, and he's still up a huge amount. So look at this. They get a full engage, but they're just sitting on a Rumble ult. They just turbo engage with Rumble right there, and he just gives them one of the sprint mats with his ult, and he just literally burns them down. It's a bad engage. And now you have Herald. That's why this Herald is good. Be careful against scaling comps that take this too soon. People take these against Casadinos, Vladimirs, Sennas and Ezreals, and then they wonder why they get outscaled. Well, it's because you took a Herald play, took 2 inhibs at 20 minutes, didn't have the team come to win fights, and they just got to farm themselves for the next 5 minutes. So, know when to push, know when to leave. Excellent. Perfect by Rumble. Perfect. We got... Look at that Herald push. You telling me that's not good? So if anyone says second Herald is stupid, because they're using it wrong. You want to use it when you win a fight, okay, and you can bust open their base. It's that simple. Don't just use it stupidly. You want to use it in a fight, and then bust open their base, which gives you prior on the following objectives, which should be a dragon here. Now we have Void Stuff complete. There you go. Void Stuff plus a Needless. As I said, the penetration from your E, the shred does not replace percentage pen from the Void Stuff at all. Not at all. So buying that is still very, very good. But the raw AP against squishies is kind of funny. Now it says here the blue team gets the Baron. So here you want to be very patient. I think you want to bait. Okay. But baiting versus an Alistar, Yasuo, Diana. Okay, so they go in on the Alistar without any vision at all of the rest of the team. Lucian burns his ult on the Alistar, right? He just presses his own R himself. He plants out, so they've lost an ultimate. And now they get stuck in a choke. Yeah, so they weren't patient enough. They weren't patient enough out. Yeah. The Diana's engages though, right? So strong. She just yeets in, hits multi-man ults, and the Yasuo says, yes, I come too, and then Alistar's there, and then Kai'Sa can ult in, and then Camille can clean up. Yeah, so just, I highly recommend being patient in those situations. Don't burn everything on the support that shows. They do have to get back now, but they can easily hold now. Before they could not hold, right? They had to deal with the mid-wave. You want to wait for this mid-wave, like if you're trapping in this bush, you want to wait for this mid-wave to really start to threaten their base, because they have no towers, which means they will eventually have to send someone back to deal with it. And at this point in the game, they probably don't need two, but they need someone with decent wave clear if you let this crash. So once this gets here, right, then we can pull the trigger on this fight, because someone's back in the base, most likely the Camille with TP. However, if then Alistar shows, and you have no vision of anyone else in the area, don't waste ults, don't use your CC on him. You're not going to burst him out. He's a giant cow. So, just relax. Relax. At the same time, you know, if you sit in this bush, it's the same result. So, a little bit of positioning and spreading out is excellent, but I still think they needed to be way more patient than they were. As you can see, the Canyon video last week, this one, even in Challenger, they get a little antsy to close games out. Now, it looks like, because they have to wave clear this, everyone kind of chills until the next dragon in 2 minutes. So we'll just skip to that because there's no action. So again, dragon's up. We had to give the first one away. We got 2 towers top lane for it though, so it's not so bad. Set up for the fight. If you win this fight, you get dragon, and you should be able to re-inhib and then close the game out. They're not even in position. They can't. They can't fight you. The Rumble's just so far ahead. He's just 16-1-8. He's got his death camp completed now. So we didn't fight for a few minutes. He farmed, he cleared, and now he's got the death cap. Okay, here we go. Camille goes to try 1v1 the Rumble. They get cleaned up by the blue team. Rumble says, hello, my friends, and then he runs away. So the rest of the team let him down. So the Camille did a very good job isolating the Rumble, taking him away from the fight. And then Rumble, of course, could not impact whatsoever the rest of the team being handily annihilated. So I'm curious to see what happens here, because you can see the seeds of doubt, the seeds of throw by these guys. Morel's played fine, but some of these fights are kind of unfortunate. Okay, yeah, we can trap this. It's risky though. I mean, you don't lose anything if you die. If you make a pick, you can win the game. There we go. Burn damage, flash, dead. Beautiful. It's disgusting, what is it now? 2006. I wish my ults did that much damage. I mean, I know it's over 5 seconds, but still. Come on. Also this. Magical opus, yeah, indeed. Wait for your team here. You've got numbers advantage. You can just push in a little bit. We got the slow stacked again, additively. He has to go. Wow, that double E was disgusting. Did you see that? That was an Alistar. Just double. Oh, Rel. Nice engage. KD Bonnie throws the R again, and just everyone just burns. Oh. You throw your E's, use your shield for movement speed and of course shielding, and then you've got your flame spitter and off you go. And then don't forget the attack speed and the autos do quite a bit from your passive when you're overloaded, so don't forget not to do that. Wow. I'm impressed. I hope you're impressed. The overall healing denied was 2,243, so I'm going to say I was wrong in that aspect. I actually ended up doing quite a lot just because of the Alistar E as well. We didn't even talk about that, so maybe a little bit of a oversight by me, but that's fine. We all make mistakes. Even challenger players and endgame macro, that should be absolutely standard. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you were able to enjoy and learn something. Let me know what other of the junglers that you're enjoying out of Diana, Morgana, Mordekai's Rumble. Don't forget to check out coaching in the description below. Main channel is also down there for a whole bunch of more shortened content. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you all